We built a civilization of steel and light. Long before this, humans found something dark, sticky, and foul-smelling leaking from the dirt. In ancient Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq, people noticed this thick, black liquid seeping through cracks in the earth. It smelled terrible, and it behaved nothing like water. The Sumerians figured out that wherever this substance was applied, water couldn't penetrate it. They started using it to coat their wooden boats, allowing for safer river trade. Soon after, Babylonians were packing it between bricks to bind and strengthen their buildings. This natural bitumen eventually reached ancient Egypt, where embalmers used it to protect kings from decay. In fact, the Arabic word for this material, mumia, eventually gave us the English word mummy. In China, people used long, hollowed-out bamboo pipes to draw this liquid to the surface. In ancient Persia, armies loaded it onto arrowheads, setting them on fire to burn enemy fortresses. For millennia, these burly empires utilized the sheer power of this substance. They sealed ships, preserved bodies, and fought wars with it. Yet, no human on Earth actually knew what this black liquid was, or how it got under the ground in the first place. If you ask people today where oil comes from, many will tell you it's made from the crushed bones of dinosaurs. But the fossil record shows a completely different story. Around 300 to 400 million years ago, ancient oceans were filled with microscopic algae and plankton that survived by absorbing sunlight. When these organisms died, they sank. Over time, they piled up on the dark ocean floor, buried under endless layers of silt. This diagram shows a cross-section of the Earth's crust, revealing those organic layers getting pushed deeper. The pressure converts the matter into a waxy substance called kerogen. When the heat hits between 60 and 120 degrees Celsius, the kerogen fractures into liquid crude oil. Because these organisms originally lived on photosynthesis, every drop of oil we extract is actually a reservoir of ancient solar energy. It is a highly concentrated subterranean battery that takes millions of years to charge. By the mid-19th century, the Industrial Revolution was driving millions of people into expanding cities. Factories were running around the clock, and the demand for artificial light skyrocketed. At the time, homes and streets were lit primarily by whale oil. This relentless hunting decimated whale populations across the globe, causing the price of their oil to spike well beyond what average citizens could afford. In 1846, a Canadian geologist named Abraham Gessner figured out how to refine raw crude oil into a clear liquid. He called it kerosene. It burned cleaner and cheaper than whale oil, offering a massive commercial opportunity, if only people could find enough raw crude to refine. Finding it usually meant walking around hoping to spot a random surface seep. But an American named Edwin Drake had a different idea. Instead of waiting for oil to rise, he proposed drilling straight down into the earth to pull it out. On August 27, 1859, in Titusville, Pennsylvania, Drake's drill hit 69 feet. A dark liquid bubbled up the pipe. By proving the earth could be tapped directly, Drake's well triggered a massive land rush and kicked off the modern commercial energy industry. While thousands of men went broke gambling on dry wells, one businessman saw the real choke point of the industry. John D. Rockefeller understood that raw crude was useless straight out of the ground. The real wealth was in owning the refineries that turned it into kerosene. Rockefeller ruthlessly negotiated secret, discounted shipping rates with the railroads. Because he transported his oil for pennies, while competitors paid full price, he easily undercut their rates. As rival companies collapsed, he bought them up, merging them into his Standard Oil empire. By 1911, the U.S. government forced Standard Oil to break up into smaller companies to stop the monopoly. The irony is, the stock prices of those fragmented companies surged. Rockefeller kept his shares in all of them, pushing his net worth to an estimated $400 billion in today's money. Up to this point, oil was mostly a tool for illumination, but the invention of the internal combustion engine shifted its primary use from creating light to creating physical motion. In 1886, German engineer Carl Benz rolled out the first successful petrol-powered vehicle. It was largely seen as an initial experiment, but it proved that refined oil could push heavy machinery. Then came Henry Ford in 1908. By utilizing the assembly line, Ford made the Model T fast and cheap to produce. Millions of cars, trucks, and tractors hit the roads, consuming fuel at an astonishing rate. The mass-produced automobile permanently transformed refined petroleum into the absolute mechanical heartbeat of the global economy. By the early 20th century, the United States was the world's top oil producer. But geologists quickly realized that America's domestic supply alone could never sustain the surging global demand for fuel. The search pushed outward. In 1908, a British expedition drilling in modern-day Iran struck a massive underground reservoir. This was the first major commercial oil field discovered in the Middle East. Decades later, prospectors spent years drilling dry holes in the Saudi Arabian desert. Just as they were about to give up, in 1938, a well named Dammam No. 7 finally erupted, revealing one of the largest oil deposits ever found. Looking at this map, we can track this massive shift. Following the Saudi strike, huge new fields were quickly mapped across Kuwait, Iraq, and the United Arab Emirates. The center of global energy gravity officially moved from North America to the Persian Gulf. Initially, foreign corporations took the bulk of the profits, but the host nations soon calculated the leverage they held. The entire Western industrial machine, its cars, its militaries, its factories, relied completely on the crude beneath their sand. In 1960, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, and Venezuela formed an alliance. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC, allowed these nations to coordinate their production output and directly dictate global pricing. The true strength of this alliance was tested in 1973. Following the outbreak of the Arab-Israeli War, several Arab oil-producing nations reduced production and completely embargoed exports to Western countries that supported Israel. The cutoff was immediate. Prices at the pump quadrupled. Motorists waited in lines wrapping around blocks for rationed fuel, and the cost of manufacturing and shipping goods skyrocketed. The embargo lasted only months, but the economic damage was done. It proved that choking off a single concentrated supply line could instantly paralyze international trade. Today, our dependency is total. We have integrated refined petroleum into the physical structure of our modern lives. It is the raw material for the asphalt on our roads, the plastics in our electronics, and the essential compounds in modern medicine. We took a biological quirk of the deep ocean, tapped it, and used it to engineer an era of rapid progress, mobility, and wealth. When an entire global civilization runs its infrastructure on a single, highly concentrated resource, its greatest engine of growth is also its most glaring vulnerability. If you want to see more deep dives into the history that built our modern world, hit the like button and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what topic we should explore next.